I would like to welcome you guys to this new series that I'm working on and documenting the animation progress or the process of LSFTL CUT3. And this is a very exciting process that I want to go through, and I just want to go ahead and I have everything shown up here on the computer that I'm going to display everything and show you in this very moment that you actually guys caught me at a very good moment, because this is pretty much the beginning stages of the animation. And I honestly did cheat a little bit. I started out the layout, and right now I'm actually working on the animatic. But in the layout, I'm doing the timing at this moment. And I want to go ahead and show you guys here, instead of me talking all the time, go ahead and show you guys what's in the works at this very moment. Actually, what I'll do is I'll show you using the camera right here and tell you guys what's going into the project as of now, because at this very moment I'm at a very standstill, and I said, you know what, forget it, I'll just leave it at this. I'm on page 6 of the layout, and I said I'll just leave it and just do the timing and the start on the animatic, and then when I get to a certain point where I think of new ideas, then I'll just come back and work on that. But let me show you here. This is the first page demonstrating what's going to be the intro of the animation, and that's like the hardest part that comes to me, is doing the intro, because the intro is basically what brings in the viewer, you know. And in this panel I'm working on time lapses and the duration of each cut and how long it's going to appear on the screen or appear in the viewer's eyes, if you want to say that. So in this first tablet, or in this first panel or square, I want the this is going to be the beginning. This is what's going to introduce the video. When the screen turns from black to image, this is going to be the first scene or cut that is introduced in the animation. But I'm sure you all know that, enough of that. So I wanted this to extend out. It might change or not, because the process of animation, it usually once you get into the animatic and you see the timeline actually scroll through, you start to say, oh well, you know, this scene or these frames are lasting a bit too long, or it's lasting too short. You want to make it shorter. You don't want, so it's like it's a pick or choose, you know, because you don't want someone staring at the screen for too long of a duration, and you don't want them staring at the screen for a less duration. So it depends on how you feel on the scene, or how the person, or how you feel that the viewer is going to react in that sense, you know. So with this first panel, let's just get into it. I wanted to do, I'm thinking 20 seconds, because I was actually listening to a song recently, and the intro, I mean, the song is different, but still, the intro, I wanted to see how long it could captivate me, how long it can take my attention, because you know, these days and age, everybody's attention span is a bit too short. So I want to get a sense of, or I want to feel. I'm really trying to feel this scene, you know. And that's the thing I struggle with when it comes to beginning animation, is actually getting the feel and the timing right. And doing this, it honestly reminds me of the time I saw a video once of Hayao Miyazaki, when he was doing his layout, he painted everything. And he painted out his drawings and everything was already sequenced. He had his timestamps, he had everything laid out. I'm sure because it's a big company, he has notes for all his employees and other staff members, obviously, to detail out or document out what he wants for certain scenes. But either way, so I saw him, he was sitting there and he had like a stopwatch in his hands, and then it's funny because I didn't really think about this whole stopwatch kind of situation, but in a sense, when you're timing out these cuts or scenes and frames and everything, I mean, I'm trying to get like a what's it called, like a simile, not a simile, what's a simile, a reference, how he went about his scenes and how he used a stopwatch and actually getting the timestamps for how long he wants a scene, and he thinks out, he sits there in silence and actually tries to get a feel of how long each scene needs to be. So you actually need to close your eyes and actually feel the animation, feel the drawing, feel how you would respond to the drawing and how your viewers would view or respond to the cut or scene or frame, and you detail that into your work, into your layout, and it's interesting, honestly. But to explain it a little bit further, it's just in this particular instance, or in this scene right here, I want to get an atmosphere. I want to get a certain atmosphere of dead air, silence, in a way, and have the viewer think or wait until the animation starts, you know. I want them to sit there and take in the atmosphere in the animation, take a deep breath and look at the imagery, look at the motion, immerse themselves into the animation before everything starts, if you feel what I'm saying. So I feel that with a long pause of, you start the animation, you get the first scene, you get Ate and Maria standing there for about, I was going with, as you can see, 20 seconds. And then after 20 seconds, you get imagery of the surroundings around them, the floor, the clothes, shoes, lockers around them, any mundane or any kind of items or locations, areas that you just want to get that atmosphere, you know, and make the viewer just look at it. Just look at it, man. Alright, so I'm just setting up actually right now the other mic so I can talk over in the computer. I'm gonna share my screen. I need to tell you all that, but to tell you the truth, I was actually up since, I don't know, 3 a.m. right now. I went to bed and I just couldn't sleep, man. I was watching a video of a brother. He was making his own videos, and it's just weird, man. It's just like, I see him and I see other people is doing progress, and I just feel like I'm just doing nothing at the moment, man. It's like, why am I sleeping when I could just be doing my work, you know, just progressing, instead of when I get off the full-time job and I come back, I want to actually just be doing my own work, man. You know, I want to be progressing in my own craft. And it's just like, why am I wasting my time? Well, obviously you got to get some sleep sometime, brother and sis, well, family. But I wasn't tired. I got a little baby nap, a little beauty sleep, and then I just wanted to get back in that grind, you know, that work. So it's just, I used that time to make my banner, you know, and listen to more of his videos. And it was just like, dang, this guy, I saw his videos and he's just dropping videos. I didn't know if I was recording. He was just dropping videos like every day, man. And it's just like, wow. The last time I dropped a video on my YouTube channel was a week ago. And it's just like, this guy's uploading videos every day, and they're not, I mean, they're not the, like Hollywood kind of Michael Bay kind of type thing, or friggin' who's that other guy, like either way. But they're not, you know, they're not like substantial, but he's out there, he's doing his thing, he's working, you know, he's putting in his time, and he's getting results. And it's just like, I can't just be putting out one thing every couple of days or something, man. I actually have to I actually have to work, I have to actually produce, and it's just like, it's stressful, man. When you put out one thing, you feel like you accomplished something, but in actuality, you haven't really done anything, man. You just got to keep working. But let me get this mic, and we'll go over into the computer, and I'll show you what next we're gonna be doing. Just want to go ahead and show how we're gonna detail out this scene or cut. Just got to get my tablet glove and the pen, which I always put on the tablet now because I always leave it on my lap, and when I ever get up, it just falls on my lap onto the floor, and it's very annoying because I really don't want to break this pen. I have a limited amount. One. No, I have two actually. But in this, so I want to get a feel for the timing. So I said, okay, let's do 20 seconds. And in this scene is her hand in the pocket. So what we're going to go ahead and do is, let me relax my back a little bit. Shit. I know I'm so uppity because I'm recording, but so I want to get the line work in. I want to get a little bit more detail, and I just want to get I'm gonna go ahead and reduce the brush size, get a better brush, reduce the brush size. Maybe I'll even use a pencil, actually. Maybe I'll just go ahead and use a pencil tool, because a pencil tool has harder edges. And I'll lower the opacity, bring down the opacity. Actually, I'll lower the opacity of the other layer. I believe all those are on the same layer. I think this is on a different layer, actually. I locked it. And we'll actually go ahead and merge all these layers. And we'll lower down the opacity of these layers. We'll bring this back up and we'll draw over it just to get a better feel. So I want to go ahead and draw here. Draw out, this is Maria. Hand is in her pocket. Actually, I really don't like the pencil tool. We're gonna use a brush tool. It's alright. Just getting a feel for everything, you know? So we're going to go ahead and use a brush tool. Get an outline. These initial drawings, they were just a rough sketch, you know? Just to get the idea out there on paper. We are coming from CUT2, so everything transitions into this scene. So imagine if you are starting from the initial comic and you're coming in here, you want to introduce the atmosphere, because it's different when you're reading it from a comic, you know, when you're reading it from paper on a page. It's the same feeling that you want to get. If you're reading from the page, you don't have any background music, you don't have any sound effects or anything. So it's just dead silence. So when you bring that dead silence, I want to get that kind of dead silence feel and bring it into the animation. And what I mean by that is, with that dead silence, not like mute out all the sounds or anything, but use that sort of feel of emptiness. There we go. That's what I'm trying to get at. Emptiness. And we're going to use that and put actual other sound effects or ambient music, or not ambient music, but ambient sounds behind it, and get that feel of emptiness and that empty space, you know? I want to feel that. I want that tension between the two of them. Everything is just riding on this one moment. Not really riding on this one moment, but everything feels fixed and in this one space. This is the only space that they'll be in this entire scene, or in this entire animation. For now, for the most part. So I was watching the video. I was just laying down in bed. I was actually just watching the video. I had just gotten up. I'd fallen asleep for about 2 hours, and then I woke up and I started watching the video because I couldn't sleep again. So I was just watching the video, and he was giving some insightful points, you know. I was just like, damn, dude, what am I doing right now? I'm just sitting here watching a video, not doing a damn thing, when I have so much work I should be doing, not even could, I should be doing. And it's just like, what are you doing, man? Just get up and start doing the work, brother. It's like, you can't just be, if you're trying to actually get somewhere, you can't just be laying down in bed on your days off, man, just because I wasn't even tired at the moment, man. Obviously, because I just got up from sleep, but it's like, use this time and actually finish up the things that you need to finish up when you don't have the time, you know? So I just got up out of bed. I was just like, alright, yo, check this out 2 times. Let's go ahead and finish up the banner for the YouTube channel. Let's post it out, get some more references, and we even go ahead and work on the animation as well, because I want to get this thing done. You know, I want to get this thing done by the end of the year and actually start on a project that I really want to work on, you know? And with that is because I have something planned for the future in the coming months, so I want to get a lot of things done before then. I'm not saying that it's gonna progress me. Well, if you're doing your things, you're obviously progressing. So I can't say I won't be progressing, but hopefully I'll be progressing in the manner that I want to be, you know? In all honesty, let's just be real. We want to progress financially, you know? And I actually want to be self-sustained in a manner. Not having to rely on things, but for now I'm relying on a lot. Well, you're always going to be relying on everything, aren't you? Honestly. If we're really speaking facts, you're always going to be relying on something. But no, just to continue on, I was just up, completely forgot the other subject, but I was up all night, man. I was up since 3 a.m. I was just like, yo, just get out of bed, go ahead, work on your stuff, and it'll be a good day. I want to also get a car wash, because it just feels like I was slacking, you know, just not doing anything. Just coming out, my initial goal was to come out with 5 videos for the year. It's just like, what? Only 5 videos? I finished 5 videos in like 3 months, and I feel that's unacceptable, honestly. I feel that I'm not even putting in the real amount of work I need. Honestly, I'm not even really actually drawing these things out, just an FYI. I'm just getting a general gist of what I want. Right here, I want a water fountain thing. It's just getting a feel for the atmosphere. But what was I saying? Honestly, forgot what I was saying. I did want to point out, I didn't even point out where everything's happening right now. So they're in the school ground right now, or inside. And this is a tight little corridor that they're going to be actually doing their little fight in. And if you haven't read the manga or the comic, Maria just agreed to Ate's little. In a way, she agreed, but in order to get favor from her, they have to go through a little fight, you know. So, in this case, where they are right now is in a little corridor that leads out into a courtyard out here. And actually, they're going to actually fight in here in this space. And then later on, take the finishing fight outside is what I have planned at this moment. And a cool little thing here. I wanted to get a close-up of her arm, her bracelet. And I already joined those. I want to get a close-up of her bracelet. It's going to be a little scene here where you get a reflection of Ate in here. So I love that. The thing is, I found an enjoyment for filming, not photography, but actually filmmaking, man. It's interesting, honestly. I don't want to get into the whole kind of movie type thing, but if you're actually like filming in yourself or your space, like outside or something of that sort, you get a real feel of how the camera works and different lighting and different angles that you want to use. And when you start watching other videos and other people, like I've been watching Matt Diavelli and other YouTubers like himself, and the way he uses the camera, obviously he has more expensive equipment, he has more equipment than me and everything, but the way he uses the camera and the way he shoots his videos, it's insane. Like, you take that stuff for granted, honestly. The work that these people put into their craft, man, it's nuts. So like when you actually get into filmmaking and recording for yourself, you actually realize, like, god dang, this is pretty difficult, man. And it's enjoyable too, like learning the different methods you can use for capturing your scene. And with that, the reason I like it so much is because when you film in real life, you can actually use those references and in your animations. So it's because when you're doing your animations, you have such a limited space in your head. I mean, obviously your head, you can imagine so much things, but it's limited to what you know at that very moment, you know, at that current moment. So when you actually get into different venues, different avenues, and you start learning different skills or different techniques from watching other content creators, you start to realize, like, well, wow, I can use this color grade in my animation, I can use this camera angle in my work, or, you know, animation, comic or something. You can use this camera angle, you can use this video quality, this frame rate, this type of scene structure. So like I'm looking at videos and I'm looking at TV shows, movies in a whole different light, and you can actually see why people watch movies, or well, not people in general, but like why filmmakers are the way they are. I mean, in a sense, I'm a filmmaker as well, because I do the animations, I got to do the production, I got to do the sound, drawing, scenes, cuts. What else? A whole lot goes. I mean, basically the same thing that goes in the field goes in animation, because animation is film, in a sense. It's just different words, I guess you want to put it in that way. But let me not get distracted. Let me go ahead and work on this. When I start talking, I always get distracted and fiddle around, but I'll talk as I go. But in that sense, you get a feel for everything, you know? And you just, once you start practicing with a live camera, it's not like you have to, but once you start practicing with a live camera, you start to develop you start to develop a sense of your area, you know? And you start to take into account different aspects of your environment that you normally wouldn't take into account in thinking in your head for an animation piece. In animation, generally you want to get the coolest looking kind of shot. In general aspects, there's obviously different accounts from all over the world from different animation, but in a grand scale, in a more, what's it called? What do people say? In a more social aspect? No. What's that thing where everybody actually comes into one, when one medium is actually more popular than the rest, and that's where everybody flocks to. So it's not really a niche, but I forgot what it's called. Mainstream. Jesus Christ. It took me so long to realize it. But what's shown in mainstream is like the same kind of techniques, you know? So you already think in that kind of manner, you know? So what I'm trying to detail out is just, when you imagine, you're already imagining from a source, you know, like a more mainstream source. Obviously different circumstances with different people, but in a general aspect, you want to impress your audience, or what people want, you know, and it's what's already been shown. So what's popular is what works. So you use those references already, or already established references in your head, in your craft, or in your work. And when you actually do things on your own, you actually take matters into your own hands. You develop, or you see different ways, or you try to convert, or you try to create your own kind of I don't know how you'd say, your own medium, you know? And that hand moves away. Just to explain what I'm doing, I'm just note taking away a little. So in this scene, I want him to move his hand a little. This is where the first motion scene comes in. Actually, this is the first animated scene. So his hand will be about here, and then it's going to shift over a little. As it shifts, this is going to be a very short frame, shortcut, very shortcut, probably 2 seconds. Obviously that's give or take. That's until I get into the actual animatic and actually see everything. This time might even change, because I want it to be a very quick cut. Not quick, but quick enough, and then it cuts straight into Maria's eyes. I don't want to get a very dark cinematic look in this scene right here. Showing her eyes, and even in this frame right here, I want to get her eyes to, I want a gradient in this scene is what I want. Actually, let me note take that. So I want a gradient. I don't know how to spell gradient. I think it's without the I, but I want a gradient in this scene coming from probably this way, of black to transparent, and gradient over her, and her eyes will glow over. Not a very strong gradient, a very light gradient in this scene, as her eyes are blue. So her eyes will glow a little in the gradient, emphasizing that she notices that she noticed, or she heard the sound. So as soon as it shifts over to this scene, she knows that he's getting up or he's doing a movement, but she doesn't know what, but she's very confident that he's not going to move at this very moment. So I don't really need to draw that out like that, but just to get a feel of what I want. Doesn't really look like a girl's eyes. There you go, has some lashes. And here you can see I put blur. So I want a lens blur right here of sort, I believe, at her nose. And actually no, I want a lens blur in this area. So I want to blur in this area. Blur, and coming in here, and the blur would stop in this area, right? So all this will be blurred out, but you'll still see faint of her eyes, and you'll still see movement back here actually. So you'll see him start to get up a little bit. So this scene won't actually last that long. So, or this cut will actually not last that long. So I'll say the blur is outside of the figure background. The background will include, I don't need to write all that, will include ate, getting up, so you'll see his back, or you'll see his hair a little come up in this frame here, just a little bit. And then right here, this is the pivotal scene that I really want to emphasize. In this complete silence, it's just him getting up. It is just him getting up. And this is the most exciting part here.